What a show it was between Kyler Murray and Tua Tagovailoa, but the Cardinals fall short in this one. 34-31 is the final. Welcome back, everyone, to our post-game show. Lisa Matthews, Kyle Odegard here with you. Be sure to click that like button and subscribe to our official YouTube channel for complete coverage of today's game. And Kyle, what a tough one to swallow here today.
Very back and forth affair the entire time, and it seemed like the Cardinals had a lot of chances in the fourth quarter to come away with this victory, and a few plays that really stand out. You know, the Zane Gonzalez miss, fourth down, couldn't get there. They're going to be kicking themselves after this one.
Well, let's see how this game played out with our Dave Pasch and Ron Wolfley standing by here in the booth. Guys, this game went back and forth, just huge implications, obviously, going into this one. But what did this loss come down to for you guys?
Go ahead, Wolf. I'll let you start, man.
You know what, honestly, I think in the first half, just watching the Miami Dolphins be able to run the ball effectively enough where suddenly they were also able to put Tua Tagovailoa in a three-dimensional offense where they could run it, throw it, and use the power of play action to act like they were going to run it and throw it, and that really helped them out. And you know what, they made mistakes. They gave up a scoop and score touchdown for 7 points, of course, but they gave up 27 points in that first half to the Miami Dolphins, and honestly don't think they ever recovered from that.
Well, Wolf mentioned the defensive touchdown. You also had the Lecky Fotu face mask on a sack on 2nd and 20 that kept the drive going that eventually Miami scored on. It looks like that's when Tua got rolling. You could really see his confidence grow from that, guys. He threw the ball really well. He had some great runs. Defensively, the Cardinals were down a lot of guys. You could see it in the secondary, but look, I mean, they've been down guys all year, especially up front with the loss of Chandler Jones to that season-ending injury, and they managed to still win games despite that. So I think this is one of those games where it's a little bit of a reality check. You know, you beat Seattle. You have a chance, if you win today, to have the best record in the NFC or be tied for the best record in the NFC. And now it's like, okay, we're not quite there. We still have some work to do. So I think it's a good lesson that it's really hard to win in the NFL. And I think going forward with Buffalo coming in Seattle, I mean, you got to turn around quickly and find a way to be better defensively next week, or you might be 5-4 a week from today.
Definitely some big defensive issues, and it probably gets lost because of the loss, Wolf. But Kyler Murray's performance today against a very good Miami defense, how promising is that for, you know, the rest of the season?
Well, you know, it's great. We all know Kyler Murray is a great football player. There's no doubt about that. And if you watched him go out there and play today, he had an unbelievable day. How many incompletions? 4 incompletions on the day. He ran the ball so incredibly well, made play after play after play, except on that third down, that third and short situation where they rolled him out and Christian Kirk was in the flat. I thought the play was there, but the throw was at Christian Kirk's feet. One play. If Kyler Murray could take that thing back, I think he would, of course. And that is the play that stands out to me. But Kyler Murray was fantastic here today.
It was his worst play of the day. Everything else was spectacular. I mean, some of those runs in short yardage on fourth down, some of the passes, he's phenomenal. He's continuing to get better. I'd love to see the progress that Kyler Murray has made. It's just unfortunate that that throw on third down wasn't better. Otherwise, the Cardinals may have won the game.
Defensively, Dave, going back to this defense and the troubles that we saw, what troubled you most specifically in that first half and the way that they came out?
Well, again, you start down 7-0 because you get a takeaway, a scoop and score. I mean, that's how the Dolphins have won games. You look at the last 2 weeks now, they've given up 1,000 yards of total offense, but they've won both games because of takeaways. The Rams 4 times, and then Kyler Murray with that fumble, which I don't know if that's Kyler's fault, but still the fact that Shaq Lawson was able to scoop it up and score, I think you got to get some healthy bodies back, really, to me, is the biggest thing. I think you always live dangerously when you have as many guys go down as the Cardinals have on defense, and especially in the back end. I mean, another starter, Kevin Peterson, started the game. He went down. So you lost another guy in the back end today. So to me, it's hopefully getting guys back for the Buffalo game.
And Wolf, Kyler was magical with his legs, but you look at when Chase Edmonds carried the ball, the yards per carry wasn't there like it's been in the past few games. Is that a concern moving forward if you don't have Kenyon Drake for another game or two, only having the one guy?
Yeah, not for me, it isn't at all. I mean, I look at Chase Edmonds and I have all the confidence in the world. I think he's an RB1. I do. I think he is a running back one. Yes, would you love to have Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds? There's no doubt about that, Kyle. But to me, once again, Chase Edmonds is capable of carrying that load. I thought the Dolphins did a good job. They're not great in terms of stopping the run. They're number 29 in terms of rushing yards per play allowed. They don't do a great job of shutting that down. The Cardinals ran for 178 yards overall. I just think this is a game that got away from the Arizona Cardinals in particular in that first half.
Kingsbury said himself that they find ways to win, and they certainly did so here today. Thanks, guys, for your time. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys.
All right, Kyle, let's take a look back at how things played out here with today's highlights. Starting off in the first quarter, it was 3rd and 3, and Murray fumbles the ball. Not a great way to start this one, and the number one scoring defense strikes again. Miami up 7-0 at this point.
A very crucial play. And then Cardinals were able to bounce back. Max Williams with a nice 4-yard touchdown to tie the game up at 7 points apiece.
Welcome back, Max Williams.
Yep.
Miami back with the ball, and Howard, he punches it in for the Dolphins. 2 yards out, regaining the lead, 14-7. Second quarter, Cards answer back with a beauty. Murray drops a dime to Christian Kirk for 56-yard touchdown. Cardinals tie it up 14-14.
Definitely a shootout. Tua Tagovailoa finds Preston Williams for the touchdown, and 21-14 early second quarter.
Yeah, Cardinals trying to get some points when they can with this 37-yard field goal good. 21-17 here.
Then late in the first half, a couple of familiar faces who are back on the team. First, it's Josh Morrow who gets the sack. Welcome back to Josh Morrow. And then followed right up by Marcus Golden, the sack. He had an earlier one that was called off because of a face mask, but Marcus Golden got his there.
Definitely saw his presence here today. Then Miami closes it out at the half with a 56-yard field goal, making it 24-17 at the half. Third quarter starts with the Cardinals getting the ball here, and this beautiful grab by Daniels.
What a catch.
That was the most impressive catch of the day. He somehow found a way to rip out that ball there.
Yep.
And then we get Campbell with a sack here.
Cardinals get the ball back, 4th and 1. Kyler Murray looks like he might get caught in the backfield. He jukes his way out. 28-yard gain to keep the drive alive. And then Kyler Murray does it again. 12-yard touchdown run from inside the red zone. And finally, the Cardinals are ahead, 31-24, heading into the fourth quarter.
First lead of the day, but of course, Miami answers back. That was a theme here today. Tua with a great throw, one-on-one on the outside against Whitaker. Hollins, 11-yard touchdown here.
Then big play here. Chase Edmonds going forward on 4th down, and he's stopped short. Miami gets the ball back.
And then we have this field goal here, 50 yards out, taking the lead 34-31. And then with 3:30 left to go in the game, Kurt with this 35-yard reception, wide open. You think the Cardinals are going to get here to tie it? Oh, Zane Gonzalez, 49 yards out, cannot get the field goal. No good. Cardinals get the loss here, 34-31, which is so unfortunate, Kyle, when we were taking a look here before the game and just all the implications, the momentum going into obviously the standings with the Seahawks losing and the race here in the NFC West. These are games that the Cardinals have to win against a team that they could have won. But this Dolphins team is impressive.
It's a good team, and you're right, though. In the NFL, you only play 16 games in a season, so any one that is lost in the last seconds is really going to hurt, and Cardinals are just going to hope that it doesn't affect them too much down the road.
Well, let's hear from head coach Cliff Kingsbury about the loss here today.
Yeah, I got to give them a lot of credit. They came in and created a takeaway early, big points there, and they're playing good, playing physical. Had a rookie quarterback who protected the ball, didn't turn it over one time, I had some bad calls late on 4th and 1, 3rd and 1, turned us over, and they got it done and we didn't.
Hey, Cliff, any thought to keep the ball in Kyler's hands on the 4th and inches or the 3rd and 1 play?
Yeah, definitely. We've done it 3 or 4 times before. We liked the look we had, but they made a good play.
Cliff, what happened on the Zane kick? Did he say, was there a slippage there? Did he just get under it too much? It was hard to see from TV.
Yeah, it was hard to see. I know he didn't get much of it, just like a mishit, but I haven't got final word on that.
Next up, please, we'll go Catherine and Kevin.
Cliff, you touched on Tua a little bit, but what did you make of what he was able to do today?
Like I said, to go, first road start, regardless, if it's whatever capacity it is. I thought he handled himself really well, made a lot of plays with his feet. We had a hard time tackling him, getting him down. We had opportunities. He kept drives alive and checked it down and, had some big third downs. But to protect the ball like he did and score 34 points on the road, it's a heck of a performance by him.
Hey, Cliff, obviously with KP going down, how did that kind of change your game plan with putting Jason there and Bosby? And also, how is KP doing, I guess?
I haven't got word on KP, but, we just didn't get it done. There's no excuses. Brought those guys in, and they had practiced all week knowing that was a possibility. And I'll have to watch the film to see how they played. But once again, Miami out-coached us, outplayed us, and found a way to get it done at the end.
Next up, Catherine and Craig.
What did you make of the receivers in general, and then particularly DeAndre? I know he just had the 3 catches, but with all those pass interference calls, how much does that still help the team, even if statistically it's not there for him?
Yeah, he definitely impacted the game. He always does, and they started, doubling him and should open things up for other guys. And I still got to find ways to get him the football more because when he touches it, good things happen, and unfortunately I wasn't able to.
Cliff, just quickly on Kyler's performance, 283 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 106 yards rushing, a touchdown. Your, I guess, initial reaction to Kyler's performance today?
I thought he was really efficient, I had some bad play calls that kept us out of the end zone, and I think that was kind of it, me screwing him up on those. But when he was, asked to perform his job, he did it at a high level. He escaped some things, made some plays with his feet. I thought he performed at a high level.
We'll wrap it up with Darren.
Unfortunate the way that Murray did play here today, that it resulted in a loss. He was spectacular, and it was really fun to watch the 2 quarterbacks go head-to-head here today.
Yeah, they definitely lived up to the billing, and sometimes that doesn't happen, but Kyler Murray especially was just phenomenal in this game, super efficient through the air. Everybody saw what he did with his legs. If there were any questions about him being a burgeoning star, I think those are pretty much answered, knowing how much talent the Dolphins have on defense.
In fact, let's take a look here at the FedEx air-to-ground stats between the two and their comparison. I mean, Tua has such a bright future. Had only his 2nd start here today, but he gained a little confidence against this Cardinals defense, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I know Cliff Kingsbury said there aren't any excuses defensively, but you were missing 3 cornerbacks of your top 4 in this game once Kevin Peterson went out with the concussion. So I feel like, Tua had a nice game for sure, but the Cardinals were pretty shorthanded in the secondary, and not only from a skill level perspective, but communication is key in the secondary. And when you have a bunch of new guys, sometimes that can get messed up. So I think the Cardinals are hoping that they can get healthier in the secondary moving forward.
Now, Kyler Murray is the first quarterback in NFL history to throw 25-plus times, have a passer rating of 150-plus, and lose the game. It's kind of deja vu with the Rams. I mean, they did everything right offensively, had tons of yards, 31 first downs for them, yet they still lose the game against this Dolphins team.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to look forward, and if you want the glass half full type look at this, Kyler Murray playing well is really exciting for the future. And I know they lost a close game and fans are going to be unhappy with this, but the fact that he did that and to have that passer rating, and that doesn't even mention the 100 yards rushing on the ground, it was one of the best individual quarterback performances I've ever seen. So I think that can't be lost despite the defensive struggles and the Dolphins coming away with the win.
Well, I think it's easy to see here who our SRP power performer of the game is, and that in fact is Kyler Murray. He actually becomes the first quarterback in Super Bowl era with 8 rushing touchdowns for a season.
And, I mean, he usually goes down to protect himself. I thought he did a really smart job of going for the first down marker on 3rd down or on 4th down. He had very good awareness of when he should try to get there. I thought he did a really good job of that. And then every other time he made sure he got down to protect himself from injury.
And to add on to that, 16 touchdowns in 2020. Impressive for Kyler Murray here.
Yeah, and I think the ball distribution, Christian Kirk had a really big game. Larry Fitzgerald had a really nice game. I think they did a good job of mixing it up. And when they were throwing the ball, they did a nice job. And it was just those short yardage runs that weren't working. And like we talked about earlier, the 3rd and 1, not getting it to Christian Kirk was the big one. But overall, he had a really nice day.
Hey, that was my key to the game. Fitzmagic. Good to see him going here in the second half of this season. Hopkins not targeted as much, but Christian Kirk, a great game here today with that touchdown, and he's that deep threat that they need.
Yeah, and he started the season a little bit slowly, but the last 3-4 games have been really impressive. He's up to 5 touchdown receptions in the last 3 games, 123 yards today. They needed a number 2 wide receiver to really step up, and it's clear that DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk are a really nice combo.
Talking about the air game, let's go to the ground game with our Toro ground stats from today's game. Edmonds obviously with the bulk of the carries, like we kind of thought going into this one. Obviously that yards per carry percentage is going to go down a bit, but still the way that he catches the ball and the yards thereafter that he's able to come up with is huge to me and what he's able to bring to this offense.
And I thought Miami did a really nice job of containing him. They did a good job at the line of scrimmage. It didn't seem like the holes were quite there as they'd been in the past. But obviously that number looks good because of what Kyler Murray did. Incredible rushing performance from him. And the Cardinals will surely want to make sure the running back efficiency is better moving forward.
Let's hear from Christian Kirk here at the podium talking about this Cardinals 34-31 loss.
It's just, it's heartbreaking for sure. You know, just you never want to obviously lose a game like that, a game that, you know, you especially feel that, you know, was in our hands and was in our reach to walk home with. And, you know, Miami was a great team. Defensively, they did a lot of, you know, good things, and, you know, obviously had the scoop and score and on a turnover, and, you know, they're a really good, young, talented team. You know, but it's a tough pill to swallow when you know that, you know, we shot ourselves in the foot a couple times and just didn't make the plays when they were needed to walk away with the win.
Next up, Catherine, Darren.
Yeah, this one is going to sting for a while here. Definitely bites to lose this one, Kyle. And when you look at this game, I would have to say, yes, Gonzalez missed the field goal to tie it up, but to me, this game was lost in that first half. Too many penalties, too many mistakes early on that just put him behind the ball.
Yeah, that's a great point. The Dolphins' first scoring drive on offense was really helped by a lot of penalties. I think the Lecky Fotu face mask when Marcus Golden had the sack, that probably would have ended that drive, but it stayed alive and they got 7 points. So I agree. The Cardinals had too many penalties in the first half, and it came back to bite them.
Well, let's take a look here at some scores around the league. A lot of games final here. Obviously, we know about that Seahawks lost to the Bills, who the Cardinals will face next week. 44-34 was the final.
Yeah, and the Cardinals had a chance to get to the same record as Seattle, and they would have been in first place in the NFC West with a victory, but clearly it didn't happen. The NFC West is still very bunched up with that Seattle loss, so the Cardinals missed an opportunity, but it is still going to be close. I think it's going to be a good stretch run in the next 8 games.
Yeah, Cardinals now had a chance to be 6-2 alongside Seattle. They are now 5-3, which, I mean, we keep talking about these games. They're going to face another tough team here against the Bills next week. And so we're seeing these teams come in that it's just going to get more difficult as we go forward.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are tied with the Rams. I mean, it's such a three-way race, it feels like, because the San Francisco 49ers are so banged up. But the Cardinals, when you get into these close games, they can make such a difference when you look at the playoff race and a divisional race. So hopefully for the Cardinals' sake, they can win these type of games moving forward. They certainly seem like they had a good chance once they got up 31-24, but credit to the Dolphins for coming back, and they made the more important plays at the end.
Yeah, definitely the ebbs and flows of a young team. You're riding high after that Seattle win, and you get pushed down to the bottom again. But hey, you're going to recover, and next week they have the opportunity to do so against the Bills. Thanks for joining us, you guys, here on our post-game show. Be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and Facebook page, and we'll see you next week.